extremely impressive. The three of them pretty much maxed out the majority of the exercises. They all get the pass mark from me.
How did Eddie Hall get the pass mark?
Here's my response to Coach Greg then. This isn't hating. I'm a big fan of Greg. I'm a big fan of Magnus and Eddie. Magnus contacted me and said, are you able to help myself and Eddie do a video? He says, we want to do some form of military fitness test. I listed off a few tests and they said, that's the one that we'd like to do. What it was the soldier conditioning assessment, the new British Army fitness test that is just coming in and replacing the soldier conditioning review. Is Eddie fit? Yes, in a sense. What Coach Greg says, some of it is absolutely spot on, but there's a few things that I just want to talk about, give my reasoning on why I said I believe both of them passed.
Magnus, he should be in the Army. He should be leading the Army. He's basically perfected everything.
Magnus, absolute beast. Let's start off with him. As Coach Greg said, should have joined the military, should have been a soldier. He goes around regularly training, doing different types of military fitness tests and loads of other stuff. Absolute beast. Could serve in some elite units around the world. There is no question on Magnus's ability. Unreal. Eddie then. Eddie said he could run a 7-minute mile. Should he have said that? Most probably not, but we all know what Eddie's like. And Greg's got valid points. He can't run a 7-minute mile. He most probably shouldn't have said he could run a 7-minute mile. He went and attempted the 2-kilometer run and then couldn't get within the time. He was 7 seconds over, had to stop for a shit halfway through. Wasn't close to running a 7-minute mile at all. Went on to the press ups, went on to the deadlifts. No issues with the press ups at all. Hit the complete score. Deadlift we knew wasn't going to be an issue. Are the scores too relaxed? Yes, they are. We've got 4 exercises now: 2-kilometer run, push-ups, pull-ups, and a deadlift. The scores are way too easy. They are the standards should be a lot higher. It's now gender neutral. So Coach Greg was like, you know, we shouldn't have different scores for females or males or different athletes. It should be the same score across the board.
And so why do we have certain standards that are different for certain people? Oh, men have to do this and women have to do that. No, people should have to do this. Why is there a different standard? Can I then identify as a female? Oh, the men have to do this many push-ups, the females this many. I identify as a female. Okay, you don't have to do as many push-ups.
Which it is now. The old PFT, BFT used to be male and female scores. This is now gender neutral. So it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, doesn't matter how old you are, you all have to get the same scores across the board. But what is the difference is there is now a question on where the exact pass is with the new soldier conditioning assessment. It's basically on a green, amber, red. And if you're in the green, you get a pass. You don't need any remedials. If you're in a red, that's a fail. You're gonna need remedials. If you're on the amber, then remedials is down to the physical training instructor's discretion on whether you're gonna need remedials. Eddie smashed the push-ups. Eddie smashed the deadlifts. Pull-ups, questionable. Says he had a torn lat. He also weighed 161 kilos on the day. So that's a lot of body weight to shift. And he'd just come out of a fight camp. The run, he got 10:57, 7 seconds over. The way they look at it now within the British Army is most physical training instructors are majority are going to look at going, he smashed the press ups, he smashed the deadlift. I know he's in a good physical state. Greg says,
but hey, for women, you don't need to pull the 200-pound body. If you can't pull out the 200-pound body, I weigh 192 pounds this morning. You got to be able to pull out 192 pounds.
You know, I'm a 192 kilo guy. I need pulling out. Whoever's doing these fitness tests needs to be able to pull me out. It's not just 192 pounds. He's 192 pounds, plus he's going to be wearing body armor, plus he's going to be wearing some sort of belt kit, webbing. He's going to have a weapon on him, helmet, water, ammunition, food, first aid kit. He's going to be weighing well over 200 pounds, possibly close to 300 pounds when he's got full kit on. So you need someone with that ability to be able to pull you out, whether it's out of a vehicle, out of a building, throw you over their shoulder to do a casualty evacuation, to get you out of sort of a dangerous area, get you back to a medic. Eddie's going to be able to do that. The discretion was Magnus, absolute beast, smashed all of them, no issues at all. Eddie smashed the push-ups, smashed the deadlift, Chin-ups, pull-ups, sorry, bit questionable, but got to the 3. Chin most probably not fully over the bar. Now looking back at it, yeah, possibly. The run, he'd only just gone into the amber. So the way I would look at that if I was serving in the British Army, would this guy, bearing in mind I've got 16 years, I've worked with a lot of different soldiers of different abilities, would this soldier be an issue in a firefight? Is he going to cause issues? Is he going to struggle carrying weight? No. Is he going to struggle doing a casualty evacuation? For the amount of weight he carries, the guy can shift. He can shift. For 161 kilos, he can move a lot of body weight. He's extremely strong, and he's not fit. He's not running 6-7 minute miles. I totally agree. But can he run? Yes. You know, was he within the time? No, he was just outside off. So as a physical training instructor, I'd look at his scores, because this is the issue with the new soldier conditioning assessment. It's no straight pass or fail. You need remedial PT. If you're in the green, you pass. If you're in the red, you need remedial PT. If you're in the amber, and depending on where you're in the amber, it's down to the physical training instructors, the PTI's discretion on whether you need remedial PT and what that remedial PT would look like. And me personally, looking at his scores and what he did, only just being outside, I would look at that and go, yeah, you don't need remedial PT. The standard physical training that we would do 4 to 5 times a week would get you up to the standard where you would need to be in all the greens. So that's the difference. It's no, he's the world's strongest man, let's give him a different score. It's not different for females anymore. It's not different for ages. It's all the same across the board. But if you're in the amber, it's down to the PTI's discretion. There's a lot of comments. It's too easy. It is too easy in my personal opinion. I think the tests are pretty suitable now. I just think the scores need to be a little bit harder. 1050 for a green is way too easy on a 2 kilometer run. The press ups, way too easy. Only 3 pull-ups, way too easy. And the deadlift, you only need 120 kilos for 3 to 10 reps. Too easy. I think, you know, the scores need to be harder to hit, but they are now gender neutral. You know, once again, another great video by Coach Greg. Like I said, big fan of his. I'm a big fan of Magnus and Eddie, and I can't believe I'm now in a position where I'm responding to Coach Greg. I've watched his videos for a very long time. I can't believe I was actually in a Magnus and Eddie video as well. It seems absolutely crazy to me. So thank you to Magnus and Eddie for letting me do the video. Greg, thank you for putting this out there. Big fan of yours. I just wanted to give my reasoning of why I said they both got the pass. Magnus was easy, no issues there at all. Eddie, it's down to their discretion. He was just outside for his body weight and his physical ability. Personally, he would make a pretty decent soldier. When you actually saw him, he weighed 161 kilos. He wasn't actually as big as I thought he was going to be when I was actually next to him. For 161 kilos, the guy can run. He has good cardiovascular ability, in my opinion, for the amount he weighs. I think if you put a 40-50 kilo Bergen on him, the guy's going to have no issue getting up and down Brecon Beacons, you know, across, you know, some sort of form of desert, Afghan, Iraq or whatever. You know, he's also got great explosive power. So if there was some form of contact and you were engaging the enemy, getting up and down into position, carrying that amount of kit, I don't believe Eddie would struggle with any of that. So from a military perspective, I believe he was fine to move on and pass. He wouldn't need remedial PT. But from Coach Greg's perspective, IFBB Pro coach, all the degrees and the experience and education that he's got behind him, I see how he is looking at it and what his valued points are. I don't know the beef between them two. I'm not getting involved in that. Doesn't interest me. But I get Coach Greg's perspective of being fit, pass or fail, and I totally agree. But now the new British Army fitness assessments are no longer just a pass or fail. That's what the role fitness test. This is the soldier conditioning assessment. It's an assessment to see where your current ability is at, to see if you're ready for the role fitness test later on the year. That's how it works. So hopefully that has cleared that up. Once again, can't believe I've actually done a response to Coach Greg. Can't believe I've been in one of his videos. Same for Magnus and Eddie. If you've got any comments, please do comment below. Be interested to see what you've got to say. Some of you may agree with me, some of you may disagree with me. Be very interested to hear what you've got to say. So please do comment below. Thank you for watching. And if you want more great content, don't forget to subscribe and Head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk, check out our coffee. Trust me, you won't regret it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.